Welcome to the Coffee Break with Hebb&Griff. On today's episode, we spoke with Jordan Brompton of My Energy renown.
We're going to talk to her about how she grew the company, being a female entrepreneur, and what she's doing now that she's moved on from My Energy.
She's a very interesting person and we really enjoyed speaking to her. Hope you enjoy. Thanks very much.
First question I've written down is, did you arrive in the bright pink Audi today?
No, that's gone. I'm back in a Tesla at the moment, just because I'm back and forward from London. So I'm like, I don't want to put too many miles on a nice car, especially with the depreciation as it is already. So I'm in a little Model 3 bombing back and forward from London.
Okay. Is it bright pink?
Pardon?
Is it bright pink?
No, I just did that for a campaign.
Did you?
Yeah. Although my daughter wanted me to keep it. I had it for like a month and a half, maybe 2 months.
Oh, right.
And to be honest, like I loved it. At first I was like,
Quite
oh
a
no,
statement,
everybody's
driving around in
gonna
the pink.
yeah, everyone's going to be staring. But by the end, I was like, do you know what? It just makes me so happy that I don't even care what people think. Yeah. Everybody was commenting like, oh, way to ruin like an amazing car, because it is a really smart car. But I was like, just get a life. Like, just be happy about it. It's so fun. And my daughter, when I changed it back, she was like, can we go rainbow colour now? She wanted like, the metallic rainbow that you could get. I was like, oh, I can't really wrap a campaign around that, I don't think.
I did think it was a good kind of metaphor for you though.
Yeah.
Like bright pink, so kind of girly.
Yeah.
But also like a sports car, so kind of like action orientated, and then electric as well.
Yeah.
It's a great
honestly,
metaphor
like
for you.
I loved it. It is my staple colour, like go-to colour. I love it. And I do love a sports car. So yeah, put them both together. And I've been thinking about like, now I'm a little bit freer, which I'm sure we'll talk about. I've been thinking about like all sorts of businesses, and you're like entrepreneurs as well. So you must have ideas that come to your mind all the time.
Yeah.
But I was like, imagine like a sick fleet of like pink supercars to take to events with
Yeah, that'd be great.
with cool girls and
definitely
guys
see you
driving
coming.
them. Like, yeah. I was like, oh, you
But
can
not here
promote
yet.
them for the EV.
Not here you coming, but yeah.
Do you want to, I mean, for the people that might not know who you are,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people that are going to listen to this will, but for the people who might not know you, do you want to just tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
who you are, maybe where you've come from? And
Yeah.
where
My
you're at now?
name's Jordan Brompton. I am from Grimsby, born and bred, and I am probably like best known on the internet for being the co-founder of a company called My Energy, one of the fastest growing green tech companies in the UK. But before that, I've always dabbled in business, and I'm never one to sit still. Tried all sorts, travelled the world, been a dancer, been radio presenting. What else have I done? I set up a business in cycling distribution randomly, like road biking. I've been a carer. I've worked bars. I've tried hairdressing. Like I have lived
You've been
1,000 lives since like I left school. So I wasn't very academic at school. Didn't go to college. Didn't go to uni. Didn't even know they were options to me really. So I've just like hustled from day one, I guess, and enjoyed working, enjoy meeting people, enjoy trying things, and I move on quickly if it's not like serving me.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much my background in a nutshell. And who I am. At the moment, I'm like retired, which is nice. So I exited My Energy. I'm having like a semi-retirement and then assessing like new projects and options and businesses and invested.
What was it, part-time retirement and then...
I don't know, like I'm just joking in the sense because I'll never fully retire, but I'm not working at all at the moment. So call it a career break, sabbatical, I don't know what they say, gap year.
Yeah.
I'm just like chilled.
Yeah, just going with the flow.
Just going with the flow
Yeah,
and picking and choosing projects that I want to get involved with. And
Sounds relaxed.
yeah, I'm so relaxed at the minute. Yeah.
I guess that's like a pretty good measure of success, that you're in a place where you can do that.
Yeah.
And you don't feel
Thank
like
you.
crap, I need to get a job or anything like that.
No.
Just living in the moment.
Although I am a hyper like focused person, so I do stress out when I'm too chilled. Like I
Well, you
struggle. I
think
can
you
only
should be
chill
doing
for
some-
so long because I'm
Yeah.
like, shit, I need to like, I need to be busy. I feel good when I'm like busy and productive. I don't feel good just like doing nothing, but I am enjoying the luxury of being able to pick and choose what I want and not have to jump into a new
That-
job or project that I don't want to do.
Yeah, it's a good luxury to have,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's total privilege, yeah.
I think it's what a lot of people would want to get to, really, as
Yeah.
an entrepreneur.
I'm sure it's taken a lot of hard work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no like...
Just a smidge, which I'm sure we'll talk about or come on to. But yeah. That it is, and financial freedom and freedom of choice and just freedom in general of everything, like not being beholden to anyone has always been like my life's purpose. But even when I had absolutely nothing, like we come from nothing, but when I had absolutely nothing, I still wouldn't be beholden to anyone or do something that I didn't want to do. That's just in my nature. I'd always figure it out. People say you could land in shit and coming out smelling a rose as you, but it's just because I try and find the best in everything and work hard, and I don't know, maybe it's luck, who knows.
I don't think
maybe I do.
I think from what I've researched, that sounds like I've done a lot more work than what I actually have. From what I've looked up and seen about you, it seems like you've worked very hard to get to where you've been. I mean, let's get into it a little bit. So My Energy, where did the idea come from to start it? I know it was you and
Lee.
Lee,
yeah, business partner Lee. So I've known Lee for probably about 14, 15 years now. Okay. And I actually, like, when I was talking about my round the world, I went around the world traveling. I've worked, doing all these jobs. I actually was a Zumba instructor at this point, and I needed some extra cash. And one of the ladies at Zumba said, "Oh, this guy that I work with is looking for some admin and sales support," and that was Lee with one of his like earlier businesses. So I was like, "Oh, why not?" And I went to this little office in the Lincolnshire Wolds in Binbrook, and I met Lee with like 5 other engineers just hand soldering these devices. And one of the guys that was there was a guy I went to school with. Oh, right. And I was like, "Ben, what are you doing here?" And he was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "I've come to see about a job." And then I met Lee and just started doing some admin work. And in true Geordie fashion and nature, I was like, why aren't you branding it like this? Why aren't you selling it more? Like, you could be selling it to like loads of other companies. They only had small sales at the time. And I was straight away, like, anything I get involved with, I've got this scale mindset. Like, my mind just goes big straight away. I'm a big thinker. And he had 2 other shareholders at the time, which were great, but weren't thinking that same way. And then, unfortunately for them, their industry, like, it was in the solar industry, and they were hand soldering these little heating devices that go in the home with solar panels, very similar to all the products that we've got now, but the first iteration of it. Yeah. And the solar market's renowned for, like, peaks and troughs, like getting grants, then dropping off. And their industry, it went out of business overnight, basically. Electricians that were fitting their products, the grant stopped, the funding was pulled for solar, and it put them in a really bad position. But Lee wanted to keep going. The other shareholders wanted their cash out. I had left at this point because I was like going on to other things. I'd set up the cycling distribution and stuff, and wasn't my bag, wasn't my business. So went off to do my own thing. And then after like a year or year and a half, once Lee had gone through all liquidation and got all of that sorted, the crazy person wanted to start again. It didn't faze him, but he was like, "Do I just go get a job, or do we start this again? Because I feel like the industry's still got legs and I've got some other ideas for products." So he came knocking on my door and was like, "No one was as passionate about this industry as you was. You brought in like all the customers, you know what they want. I can't do it on my own. Do you want to join forces?" And I was like, I was a year into the cycling business at this point, and I was just like, hell yeah, I want to do it, because I'd kept very strategically, not on purpose, but sort of looking back, maybe it was, I kept my LinkedIn really focused on renewables and solar and didn't ever switch it to like biking and stuff. So I had some good connections already to go straight to sell the first product that we made to them. Only problem was everything had got taken away with the liquidator. There was nothing left, no brand, no IP, no manufacturing equipment, no nothing. And so we had to start completely from scratch, and Lee had to redesign the product because a competitor had bought it in the liquidation process. So we were left with nothing. So we started that in November 2016, and the rest is history. Like, fast forward, and
did you? So from what I've researched, you saw a kind of a gap in the market for an updated version of what was already out there.
So it was our Ready product, which is the water heater from the solar. So if your home's got solar panels, you can divert the spare power that would have been sent to the grid to your hot water tank, essentially giving you a free tank of hot water. And the UK was still dead, market was dead, but Germany was a big opportunity. And Lee was like, we didn't even scratch the surface with what we could do in Germany. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm in. Let's try that. And we was doing trade shows. I was like dragging suitcases over because we couldn't afford to put them on the flight. I had to drag them on as hand luggage, like leaflets and stuff, roll up banners, and was doing trade shows in like Munich and places like that, trying to get the brand off the ground. But we didn't have the product finished yet. So I was just selling a dream, essentially. Like we had an official data sheet, done some prices, while Lee and the team were like trying to build the product. And we got some really good traction, and we got some early customers, like one of my best friends over in Ireland, now best friends, he wasn't at the time, but he was a customer. He gave us our first like 30 grand order up front, which carried the business through for those first few months, helped us pay wages, helped us get the product to market ready. And then the orders just started flowing, and I was looking at ways to fast track the brand, make us look bigger, doing all the work on the brand in the background, reaching out to YouTubers in the space. But everything really kicked off when we brought out the car charger, and we wasn't like looking at a gap in the market at the time when we brought out our Zappy, which does the same thing, charges the car off the solar, and turns out it's the first in the world to do that. Right. Not even Tesla was doing it, which is crazy, because they've got the solar panels, they've got the car charger, they've got the car, but none of it was speaking, and it was just drawing full power from the grid. Crazy. So we were like the missing link to like all of that, and the solution for all the other car manufacturers. So when we brought that out, that really changed the game for us, even though the market, no one was driving electric yet. No one really cared. Everyone said it was for evangelists. Everyone said it was for like freaks, like climate loving, vegan, crazy tree huggers. No one was asked, like genuinely.
Which is funny because those type of people probably can't afford
and then it just took off. Like I think it was 2018 or 2019, and we were just perfectly positioned because we've got our manufacturing processes pretty smooth. We'd taken on some money, some early investment.
Did you expect it to take off as much as it?
No. I mean, I always dream big, so I hoped it would. But did I could not believe the level of how much it took off. Yeah. When it did. Yeah, it was crazy.
So what was like the time scale from you starting from scratch with Lee to, I guess, the office in
Stalingborough.
In Stalingborough, yeah.
Yeah. So which is
like
up
a
at the back end of
building as well.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? So we set up in 2016, summer 2016, but I didn't join until November because I was getting married. And then we released 3 products in 2017 in pretty quick succession, which was the Eddie, the Harvey, and then the first version of the Zappy towards the back end of the year. And but I'd say from 2018 to 2019 is when it really started ramping up. And then we brought out a second version of the Zappy, which was easier to manufacture, which meant we could churn like thousands of them out instead of just making hand soldering like hundreds. And we started improving our manufacturing equipment with the investment that we brought on and stuff. So it was just a massive snowball effect. I can't remember exact years, but I think it was 2021 we started building the new factory. And I think we moved in 2022 into the first phase of it, and then 23 the second phase. Like we had two phases of the build.
Yeah.
Do you think starting from scratch was a good thing for you?
Yes, because it meant that we, at the time, no, we thought it was a disaster. But in the end, yes, because it meant that we didn't have any technical debt, which means that you don't have all of the, the tens of thousands of customers that we'd pre-sold products to, that you've now got to make that firmware fit with the new firmware and this, that and the other. So it turned out to be a good thing. And also, like, our branding was way better with My Energy than the previous company. Like, just, it was everything I wanted to do with it. It was making it cool. Whereas I was looking at the industry before, and it was just dead vibes, if I'm honest. Like, just really basic white goods products with crap names. And I was like, got to give this like brand and identity. Got to appeal to families, to women, to kids. And that's when I set about like creating the brand.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that you have clearly got a very good knowledge of. And I think, like I said about the Stalingborough office, it's a statement. And do you think that's quite important as part of your
Massively.
brand, just to have something that looks cool.
I don't know if that's just like the Grimsby and Scunny in us. It's just like you have to shout so much louder to be seen in this world and to be taken seriously. And I've always been like a bit of a, if I was a bloke, they'd call me like that, you know, peacock. I've always been like bold and bright with everything that I do to stand out. And we're market leaders, so I thought, why the hell not like have a market leading facility? And if we're going to attract some of the best talent in the industry and we're competing with people in London, they're not going to give two looks at Grimsby if we don't make it a sick place to work.
Yeah.
So that was always the mission, and it was always mine and Lee's mission to keep manufacturing in Grimsby for the local area. And we put a lot of effort and a lot of energy back into the local area, a lot of the money back into it, a lot of the support back into it to local businesses, tried to use local businesses wherever we could for everything that was like available. So yeah, it's important. It's important to us.
Kind of sounds like the dream partnership, really, with Lee, who's got like the tech know-how, and you've got the branding know-how and the drive.
It was definitely our secret sauce. We called ourselves Pinky and the Brain because it's obvious which one I was. But yeah, because we're so different, like perfect yin and yang sort of character. He's loads better now, but he was painfully shy. Like he wouldn't leave the office really. I'd have to drag him out. Wouldn't do any public speaking or anything. He was happy for me to be the one in front of the camera. It was like, that's where I was actually like, I've had to do a lot of work to do that though. I was really insecure and shy about doing that, but knew that it was a real golden opportunity for a female founder in the tech space and in the manufacturing space. And that was what people like the press were going to want to hear from. They were going to want to hear from the founder, and they were going to want to hear from a female founder. So I guess I just thought, knuckle in, lean in, practice, and get out there.
It must feel pretty good walking into a room. Well, I don't know if it feels good or not. You tell me. Like, how does it feel walking into a room, knowing with people you don't know, and thinking, I bet none of these can guess what I do.
Oh yeah. I actually wanted to do when I had the pink car, I wanted to do like just a little secret experiment, like when it wasn't branded up, and drive into a city and just say, what do you think I do for a living?
Yeah.
Because guaranteed like 90% of people would have said OnlyFans. I was okay with that because I love like just surprising people. Yeah. And being blonde, being younger at the time when I set the company up and walking into a room, your only way is up because you're always underestimated. You're always going to be put at a certain level. So you're only going to impress, hopefully. From there, the bar's pretty low. So as long as you know your stuff and you've got some confidence and sass, which I definitely got.
She says holding a
that I made you go get.
Yeah, bougiest coffee request so far.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I was expecting just a milky coffee. And,
they messaged me asking what coffee I wanted, so I thought they were doing a coffee run, and I was like,
well, if you halfway across Scunthorpe.
Yeah, if you're offering, I'll have a tiramisu Starbucks.
I
think being the coffee break with Hebb&Griff, that's something that we have to kind of do.
Yeah, part of the brand, right?
Yeah.
Do you think though, do you think it's getting to a point where people should expect it to be a woman in tech?
No, I still think it's quite rare, if
Right.
I'm honest. Like, it's definitely getting better. But, maybe it's like there's more women in tech, but there's less in leadership.
Sure.
So
Why do you think that is?
probably families, like having to have families and not being able to operate at the maximum level that you need to at the top.
Not just a time thing, you think?
Time definitely it goes into it, and the fact that we have to have this huge break out of our optimal years for where men can go out there and smash it and work all hours under the sun, and where we've got this window where we've got to have pause and have children, and it is a massive drain on your emotions, on your body, on everything. And unfortunately that's where lots of really talented women drop out of the race, because they've got to maintain the family.
How did you manage it?
I managed it by having the most unbelievable support network, and because I grew my business in my hometown, I had family, friends. My husband has been my rock, you know. So we got married in 2016. We've been together 15 years. So it's been, and we've had peaks and troughs and swings and roundabouts where he's been the main breadwinner. I've had a step back where I'm figuring out what I'm doing. And then when my energy took off, he retired. He's been retired 3 years, and he's been the sole carer, guardian for our daughter Bonnie, because she's homeschooled as well. So, so yeah, Mike looks after her full time. So obviously it's amazing for me now with this career gap to be able to spend so much time with them both. But people used to say, oh my God, you're sacrificing so much. But when you work for yourself, you're your own business owner, you can, I didn't miss out on any of the good stuff. I made sure I was home whenever I could. And when I was away, I made sure I took enough time to like balance it out. So I feel like I found a pretty good balance, and I don't feel like I ever had to sacrifice anything. And I think because I had and then COVID hit, everybody was working from home for like 2 years or whatever it was. Yeah. Mainly. So I had all the newborn stage at home and running the business from online and growing the business from online. So I don't feel so sacrificed of time. I've been quite lucky how the timing's worked out of that. But I can see if we'd have moved to a city or if we'd have grown the business elsewhere and I'd not have had the support network round, it would have been like nannies and all stuff like that. And I can remember one of my board members said to me, just get a nanny. I was like, dude, I live in Grimsby. Are you all right in the head? Like a night nurse. I didn't even know what? I was like, I never even knew this stuff existed. And I didn't want that. You know, I wanted to do it all myself as well. So definitely burnt the candle at both ends. It was definitely challenging. But then when we'd earned enough and I sold some shares, I sold some shares pretty early on. And that got us our house and some stability and meant that my husband could take the time off. And
that's awesome.
So, yeah, it was good.
I love the kind of role reversal almost. Like
proper.
You know, traditionally it'd be the bloke that goes off to work. But yeah, I love that it's the other way around.
Yeah, it'd do Andrew Tate's nutting, wouldn't it? It'd be like, he'd like default or something. I don't think he could stand the idea of a bloke being home with the kids and a woman out there working. What's all that about? But
but I think perceptions are changing, but I think there's still going to be challenges from people who, I think a lot of it's generational. You know, when my wife, even a month or so after our child was born, if she went out, people would be like, oh, who's looking after your son?
Yeah.
And she's like,
oh, yeah, it's so weird. Yeah. Mikey gets it all the time. And some of his lad mates are like jealous of him and envy him. Others rip the piss out of him. It's just a total mixed bag of, but he's so comfortable in himself and so like happy and secure that he's just like, he's living la vida. Yeah. Don't faze him.
Matter. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand some people's attitude towards it. It's crazy. Like,
it's nuts, isn't it?
We've had it before where like, I've just come off paternity leave and was telling somebody I just had a child and there's X weeks old or whatever. And he's like, oh, so you'll be glad to be back to work then? I'm like, no. I'd quite happily be at home with my son.
Crazy, very much. Like, I was listening to Russell Kane because I know Lindsay and Russell, and he was saying on one of his latest talks, you know, he finds it really uncomfortable, like when he's out with the lads or whatever and they go around the room like slagging the wives off or slagging like the, you know, wanting to be at work, this and that, away from the house. And he's like, it sounds so lame when I say me and Lindsay just like love each other. It's the same with me and Mikey. We just get on so well and we don't want to be apart all the time. We enjoy our home is our safe haven, and when we're all together, we're like fully relaxed. When we're apart, it's when you're a bit anxious and stuff, innit? And
surely if it's the opposite, then something's wrong.
Yeah, that's but it's quite uncommon for people to say like, no, I'm just really happy and in love. And people just think, don't they? But
and it's even like asking you questions about motherhood and managing a business. It almost shouldn't be a question.
It wouldn't be a question to a bloke, would it? But it should be a question for both. It should. What's it like being a parent and running a business? It's probably like, but I don't, honestly, I'm not like offended by it because it is a genuine problem still. There is still a stigma. There is still a challenge for women. men typically, maybe not so much in the UK now because I think things are shifting, but men typically have always earned more. Even if it's the same job, there has been a pay gap. Does seem to be getting better. So women do have the option to be the one at work when the males can stay at home. And we are progressive as a nation, and we are making better steps. I think in America you only get like 2 weeks or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, even the women don't get very long.
No, it's 2 weeks, I think, paid. And then you have to pay a fortune out of your healthcare and all that to even give birth.
Yeah.
So we've got to...
Into the tens of thousands, I'm sure.
Yeah. Exactly. We've got to put it into perspective. We ain't got it bad, have we? In as a whole. But
and I think that's probably also why being a female founder in this country is probably better than being a female founder in other countries, because I think this country, there are still people that are incredibly sexist, but I think you're still going to find people that are open to, are accepting of the fact that women can also run a company.
Exactly, yeah. Although there's swings and roundabouts with everything, isn't there? Because I feel like one thing that we're not very good over here in the UK is celebrating success. I feel like once you've reached a certain level, everybody likes the underdog and claps for you when you're the underdog. But if you reach any sort of level of success, it's like a British mentality, then knock you down a peg or start finding it offensive or attacking it, attacking the person at the metaphorical top, or hate the rich, hate this, hate that. It's like, Jesus, it's a bit intense, whereas over in America they'll really celebrate it and champion it. So it's swings and roundabouts with everything, because I genuinely believe if we were American and we'd launched this business, it would probably be a multi-billion pound business because they'd have got fully behind it, whereas the UK not so much.
No, and especially I do think it is more apparent in the smaller industrial towns like Scunthorpe and Grimsby. When someone does well, it's very chop them down.
Oh yeah,
I remember when Jake Quickenden went on I'm a Celebrity, and my Facebook feed was just filled with people attacking him, why is he doing that, he's not even famous. And I put something if you was in the same situation, you'd do it. So there's no point going after it.
It can really
do you want to call our podcast, Jake?
It can really turn on you fast. That switch from wanting you to be successful and clapping for you to then actually hating you or wanting to drag you down is very real. I've experienced it.
Yeah. Do you think it's worse because you're a woman? Or?
Yeah. I don't know, because I'm not a man, so I don't know. I've never had the male experience, so I don't know. So it's harsh for me to jump and say because I don't know. I'm sure there's just equal amounts of pressures for blokes. But I do think there is a culture that just can't. It's almost like it's not fair. There has to be something to explain why she's successful. She has to have been shagging.
Yeah, no one
Lee.
can just accept it.
No, the amount of times people have said she must have been shagging to get to the top, or sore knees, or whatever. I've had comments and stuff like that, on my socials all the time. Or a dad must be loaded and put the money in, or who's helped her, who's given her.
No one can just accept that you've worked your ass off.
Yeah, well, some people can, but there's still a very loud bunch out there that just can't. It makes them so uncomfortable they can't wrap their head around it, so they have to look for a justification of how.
Do you go after them a bit and tell them?
I used to eat me up inside, honestly. I used to be one of those people that wanted everyone to like me and just couldn't understand what I'd done to deserve that kind of response. But the older that I've got, I think something switches when you're in your 30s, and when you're a mum, you're just you're never going to please everybody, and they don't know you. They don't know jack shit about you.
No.
So, sorry, I swore a lot on this one.
Their opinions are almost invalid.
Yes, and I'm so comfortable and happy in my life, so I just think, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, as long as my immediate people know the situation truth, I don't have to explain or justify myself to anyone.
Yeah. The thing is, you've got your network of people
Support,
that believe in you, and that have supported you all the way.
Exactly.
Anyone outside of that network
don't matter.
And I think as long as you know the truth as well.
Exactly. That's it. And as long as you can look in the mirror every day and know that you're operating at the best for everybody around you, and best for the company, and best for whatever, then there's not a lot more you can do, is there?
So when did you decide that you were going to step away from My Energy?
It was probably, so I left in January. It was probably like anything, I was detaching mentally for maybe like a year before, just because it reached such a corporate level. And I was like, I'm not a corporate girly, and I need to stop saying that, because maybe I am if it's not my thing. But when it's your thing that you founded from the beginning, and then it's growing arms and legs, and it's this big corporate beast now, you're not the only ones making the decisions, you're not the one fully in charge. It's a lot harder, and it's a lot interesting. I've never worked in large corporate, so I found it like really slow, bureaucratic, political. And when it gets like that, it loses the fun for me. I'm a builder. I'm a hustler. I like to be on the ground. I like to be building the brand out. I like the early stage. I like the scale up. And I just thought, why am I trying to make myself fit into something that I don't fit in anymore? Like, I really did try. I thought, no, give it a good crack. Doesn't have to go that way. Maybe you can influence it to not be so corporate or whatever. But the facts of the matter is, when you get to a certain size, it has to be. And it's not anybody's fault in the organisation. Still love everybody, still on the board. There's no fallout. It's just very much, for me, how I want to be living my day to day. It was just not ticking those boxes anymore. Of that where I feel like I'm really adding the value.
Scratching the itch.
Yeah.
So did you? What was the plan leaving then?
So I didn't really have one.
Right.
This was more like a mental battle that was going on for a while.
Okay.
Like, it's like a relationship, because I've been in it for so long and so attached. It was like I wanted to make sure that everybody that I loved that was in it was where they needed to be, secure. I was detaching myself from, you're sort of making yourself redundant as best you can, so that everything's covered. So that if you do, so I was doing that, but also having the conversations with the board about, if I want to, how's this going to work? And so they obviously understood where my mindset was going and were supportive and whatever. So it was just a slow detachment over a year or so, but then it sped up around the end of last year. Where I was like, no, I really want to start doing something else and doing my own thing. So sort of made it happen.
What have you been doing since January?
I have been doing a mixed bag. Like, I've been doing some public speaking, doing some podcasting and stuff. And I've just recently been out to advising the UAE government on their deal between America, they've got this £1.4 trillion deal that they've signed for energy and AI. So I've been there on the global stage championing what we've done in the UK and how that we can make better use of the infrastructure that's in the ground. But instead of building new massive nuclear power plants, we should be putting smart tech in all the homes that we can to take the pressure off the grid to allow more data centres on for AI, because it's this race to AI now that everybody's worried about. So I've been doing a bit of advising on that, which has been incredible.
I bet.
Like, the people that I've met are the most powerful in the world in this space. So it's been an absolute pleasure to see how that high level operates.
I bet early you did not ever imagine that you'd be.
Even when I got the call, I was like,
Zumbra instructor,
you sure? You sure you want me? And they were like, no, we want you. And so they flew me to Washington and flew me to Abu Dhabi in the last, and that's what I've been doing in the last few months.
Do you get nervous?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Especially in that Washington room, because it was like CEOs of all the biggest energy companies and biggest companies in the world, and ministers and senators and world leaders from the UAE, the biggest funds in the world, like people that are holding like trillions and trillions of pounds worth of capital to deploy. I was like,
that's mental.
And I didn't want to let them.
I'm just from Grimsby.
Yeah, and this team that said, we'd really want you there because you're the expert in this space. I was like, but then I was like, how am I? But then I'm like, stop having imposter syndrome. Like, what we've built is, and I do know the space, I do know the industry, and I do know what a clear future of that would look like if governments got behind it. So I was like, why not me?
Yeah.
So I had to give myself a bit of a talking to, a bit of a telling off and be like, just go do it.
Yeah.
And then I grabbed the mic and said my 2 pennies worth.
Did you ask them for a oat milk latte tiramisu thing as well?
No, first class.
I
To
bet
be
you
honest,
did.
they can't do enough for you when you're there on your own time, and they look after you good. But yeah, I would have asked them for a tiramisu dessert in a drink.
I'm surprised I've not got one in every room in America.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you get a lot of imposter syndrome?
Yeah, I do every single time. But it was Stephen Bartlett that taught me how to get over that.
Yeah.
He basically said, if you're feeling like you've got imposter syndrome, that means you're leveling up in every room that you're in.
That's a
so
really
it's
good
just
way to think about it, yeah.
it's not you as an imposter. It means that you're on the next level and you're just feeling vulnerable, but it means you're learning. So
That's
just
really
take
good.
it as
Yeah, I like that.
yeah.
Love that.
And I thought, God, you're so right. That is the only reason why. And naturally, you're going to feel nervous because you're in a room that you've never been in before. You're having conversations that you've never been in before, but you know your business and you know your stuff. It just means you're leveling up. And I was like, damn. So that stayed with me for
That's great.
Yeah.
life.
We could learn a lot from that. Yeah. I still turn up to shoots thinking, why am I here? This isn't, I can't believe I'm doing this. But yeah, that's good. I like that thinking. I saw that you were looking on your website, it says about doing some angel investing.
Yeah.
Is that something you've managed to get involved in yet?
Yeah,
or?
like I've dabbled. It is angel investing because it's smaller amounts. And I say smaller amounts because the people
Is
that
that
I'm
what
hanging
angel
about
investing
with.
is? 'Cause I'm not quite.
Yeah, so like angel investing is just like we had angel investors, I guess, where it's high net worths invest in the beginning stages of a
Right,
business
okay.
instead of like going to VCs and private equity. All of this stuff I had no idea about, even just a few years ago. But yeah, I've basically, and what angel investors tend to do is write off some of their tax against like a risky investment. So it's a
Right.
good scheme from the government to put in some money to write off against your tax bill. And then if it pays off, bonus, you pay
Yeah.
less tax on it. If it don't, you've not lost you lose half or 75% of
Okay.
it instead of. So it's like mitigated, calculated risk. So I've put some money in a couple of businesses. Like I am not like high level investor, like some of the people that I hang around with and that deploy capital because I'm scared. And I don't like to invest stuff that I can't add value to or have some direct input or be supportive of. I wouldn't just like gamble it. But I have on a couple of businesses that just both of them really like stood out to me. And I speak to a lot of businesses. One of them's gym equipment that puts the power back into the building. So I was like very apt
Perfect.
and like
Cool. Yeah.
very cool and perfect synergy with my knowledge. And then the other one, which is only a small stake, and the other one was a female founded and female engineer that's developed a battery storage little system and a heat mat for refugee camps. So again, dead like impactful work because in the refugee camps around the world, they have to burn like all the crap that's on the refugee camps to keep warm.
Right.
And that's poisonous and toxic and just awful for the environment and awful for everybody around it. Whereas these mats heat the person, not the space.
Right,
So
okay.
it's it's just a really cool idea. And she's out all around the world testing it in like Nepal and going to trade shows all over the world, trying to catch a bite, to see if people would buy it for the refugee camps, like the NGOs and stuff. But we'll see. It's one of them. But I just wanted to put a few quid in
And
to
how
help.
much involvement have you got in them?
Not
now?
as much as I should have,
Okay.
if I'm being completely honest, just because I did that like a year or, it would be 2 years ago now when I did my first share sale. And my energy was chaos ever since. So it didn't allow me a lot of time. But now I have got a bit of time. I should probably try harder. But to be fair, they're both getting on just fine. And they ring me whenever they want me or need a bit of advice. So I prefer that than being like board meeting vibes. Prefer being on the end of the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of like business then, so if you had to tell a startup company to do one thing,
Yeah.
what kind of thing would you say?
Go
to
get
them?
sales.
Wow.
I know, honestly, it's like people literally take that so for granted or underestimate it. But I was out there getting sales before we even had a product.
Right.
Just faked it. Like
Yeah.
had a data sheet and didn't even have a price list really. It was just like figuring out, getting a feel for the market. but like literally pounding the pavement, knocking down doors, getting sales, because the second that you've got sales, you've got a business. If you don't have a customer book or an order book, you don't have a business. So, and too many people spend so much time like perfecting the business plan, perfecting the brand, obsessing over buying the domain name and getting the social media look and everything right. And I'm like, yeah, but who are you going to sell it to? Like, where are you going to go? Just go and get some like committed orders or sales, because then everything else comes easier
first. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm referring back to what you said previously about acting bigger than you was.
Yeah, I always say to do that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, the previous podcasts that we had on, they was talking about something along them lines, and it does make sense. Yeah. Because if you act as big as you want to be, then I suppose you're more likely to
manifest it.
Yeah.
You're already setting that imprint out on the world of where you're wanting to be, and just like saying yes to customers. You know, like you always have to do that, regardless. But like just like bending over backwards to keep your customers happy and give them a good experience, and I think it's so crucial. Like those early relationships that I built in my energy lasted so much and helped the business in so many ways. People either went on to be MDs of different countries, or ended up folding their business and becoming part of my energy, or have got like really senior positions in the company. Like the ripple effect of like those good relationships and those early relationships at the beginning that know your business inside out and know how you operate is so key. And we still got all the original customers, which is amazing.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So what you're doing now then with Geordie is the name of your
brand,
brand, So
my name's obviously Jordan Brompton, but all my life people have called me Geordie G, Geordie B now. I'm married. And people just call me it. So I just thought, well, it's something different. It stands out. It's a single word instead of the two, just a brander. And I don't really have a plan for it. It was just a way to channel and capture all of the inbound inquiries once I left, because there was a lot, you know, like just from businesses reaching out, people wanting to work with me or collaborate. And it was a way to just channel all of that and keep it in one place. Otherwise I'm useless. I'd be giving out my personal email address. And
I love the branding for it though. It's very,
thank you.
From what I know of you, it is very you.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted it to be me. People were like, oh, it's not very professional. Like the corporate people in my life was like, don't really stand out. But I'm like, but why have I left? Because I'm not that type of person. I am a builder and a scale up person. I do my own thing. It's not, I'd understand if I was, you know, needing to go get a job at Microsoft or something. It's like a different, you'd have a different thing, but that's not what I want. So
tailor it to what you're going to do. Is that the next big thing for you then? Or
for me, I honestly don't know at this moment in time. There's a few things on the table with exciting projects which wouldn't kick off until the back end of next year. So I'm just enjoying my summer, seeing what's out there, biding my time, and we'll see. Like part of me thinks, do I want to get involved in the startup life again? I'm not sure at the moment. The way that the UK climate is, it's terrible for founders out there at the minute. There's no funds flow. People are skint, so there's not a lot of spending going on in the UK. And I just feel like it's not a good time to start a business. So I'd maybe hold off doing that, just advise others. And just, I like doing what I'm doing at the minute, remaining open, doing some of this government work and just assessing the options that come in. I've got no solid plan or direction. I'm just going with the flow, and something just like my energy will pluck out, whether it's in 2 months' time, whether it's in a year's time, whether it's in 2 years' time. Who knows? I'm just going to be pretty relaxed about it. I know that when the time's right, I will know, because that's what I've always trusted my own ability to do. I'll be like, that is my thing. That is what I'm going to throw myself into.
Has the UK government ever got in touch about
not really
changing things here? Or?
Not really.
No.
No.
Do you think there's a lot that could be done in this country?
Of course.
Yeah. Energy specific.
Of course. I've always said consistency would be bloody nice instead of flip-flopping on ideas, which we seem to do. I think it's really difficult that we don't have any long-term thinking in this country. Right. That's one thing that I've really noticed in the business cycle, in the investment cycle, in the government cycle. Everything seems to have this 4-year shelf life,
right,
where everybody jumps in, milks it for all it's worth in those 4 years, and then wants out. And I'm on about like governments, that's the time of the elections, that's the time, like if you look at large investments, they usually invest with a 5-year time horizon where they want the cash back or whatever, and it just means that everybody involved has this short-term thinking of getting cash, like draining a resource for all it's worth, whether it be the country or whether it be a business. And I just think like that's why China's been so successful, because they've just played a very, very long game and stuck to it with no deviation. Call it, I've never been to China. I don't like want to be getting into those kind of topics, but they've done that right. Do you know what I mean? Whether they've done it negatively or not, what's actually thriving for their economy is the fact that they've gone, this is where we want to be by this time, and they've not deviated from the plan.
I suppose like it makes sense, because doing something long term, like that's when it's going to gain momentum.
Yeah.
And when it's going to really build into something. So
exactly,
not allowing enough time for something to really grow.
No, exactly. Like my energy couldn't have grown into the beast that it's not a flash in the pan type business when you're building a manufacturing business and products that you've got to maintain in hundreds of thousands of people's homes and the software and everything. It's not a quick sale. It's not a quick fire business. It's a long game.
Yeah.
But governments and stuff don't think like that, do they? Because they get in and then they're trying to do all they can do while they're in.
I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Obviously China's a
dictatorship or whatever.
Yeah. And we've got a 5-year turnaround generally.
Yeah, there's got to be some I'm not saying it's one way or another, but there's got to be some better system.
100%. I mean, we're still working on a 300-year-old governmental system. It's probably not the most.
We should be using AI.
Yeah, maybe.
Because if you have just like. You have a single chat with AI and ask it how it'd structure a political system now that it knows all that it knows from scratch. It spits out some pretty interesting ideas.
Oh, really? That's kind of scary, though.
Scary, but...
Don't ask it too much. It'll take over.
Start planning.
Yeah. Okay. How can people find you? How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can come to my website, which is jordie.co.uk, or can find me on like LinkedIn or Instagram or anywhere.
Anywhere,
really. Just type in Jordan Brompton and you'll find me.
Perfect. All right, well, thank you for coming in.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
It's been great.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.